Wisdom teething lend me your ear. Dr. D Nice and FOUNT is here for the day. Want wisdom?
We've got you.
Wellness?
We got you.
Ears?
You got two.
Bones? It's got 3. Chambers? 4. In your heart for doing right? 5. Keys, your game's all tight. FOUNT. Get your mind right and your body tight. Get your mind right and your body tight. Get your mind right and your body tight. Hello. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Welcome again to episode number 72 of Talking Truth to Teen Issues, Tissues. Achoo. Okay, so today we're actually going to be going through something super important. And you all know Dr. D Nice is 100% on the Jesus bandwagon. And I have something that I really feel is going to be important for you all to hear about things that will be happening to let you know that the end of the world is coming. I know it's not a cool subject. You're going to want to hear it, though. It's important. You got to know these things. Then after that, we're going to, of course, get into our FOUNT segment where we're going to learn how to recognize reality because we'll be talking about the O in FOUNT, which is for optimistic. We'll get into our FOCK section where I talk about sexuality and relationships. The teen archetype today, we're going to be hitting on. Oh, the plug. You know, you got to have a plug. We're going to talk about the plug. Then we're going to round off the whole show today with my story about CPR. And you're going to want to hear this one. It's going to be a little long story, but I really think it's important. Today is just an overall important show, okay? We're going to have some fun together. We will learn some things together also, okay? All right. Y'all ready to just get into it? Before we get into it, though, let me just acknowledge the new old setup, because this is where we started a year ago. Yeah, this is where we were. We were in this room in my house, and we are back in this room. We no longer have the fireplace that would have been over here with the lights. We just have an open room. I didn't bring the tree back yet, but I will bring it back pretty soon. I promise. And let me see. What else do you know? What else looks different? The tree, the fireplace. Yeah, we'll have everything back. And then what's in the back here? Right there. You see the heart, the American flag. Anyway, all right. Let me know what you think of the setup. I'm going to add the tree back, of course. And then we usually have a light over here too. I just haven't moved everything in yet. But yeah, how are you all doing? How was your week? Anything exciting? So far, my week has been okay. I have absolutely no complaints about it. Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King. Did we Martin Luther? We did some moving. I really wish we had done more for Martin Luther King Day. We didn't, but it is what it is. Did y'all, have y'all ever been to one of the Martin Luther King Day parades? I always want to go to one because I feel it's important to be there with a group of people together, just honoring the man that really helped change the trajectory of America and really help change things for how our modern society looks and how we interact with each other as races. Anyway, I'm done rambling. Y'all want to get into it? I just would love a comment. Is Magic 8 Ball Spot, you out here? You out here listening? Hey there. All right. So today, I shouldn't be amen, but this is an important subject, and let's just get into it, okay? So we have a lot of time to talk. I'm not gonna ramble much on it, but we are gonna be reading from the Bible a little bit also. Okay, so I'm just trying to get all my little stuff together so I could really go in here and really just get into this with y'all. It's important, okay? Because you know what? Let me just pull it up and we'll just get going. All right. All right. Here we go. Y'all ready? Let's go. Let me make sure our sound is where it needs to be. Broadcaster main duo. And all right. Yes, I am. Hi, Magic 8 Ball Spot. How are you? Thank you for leaving a comment so I can know you're here. All right, let's go. Yes, we are talking about the end of the world. I know that sounds horrible. In the end, there will be perilous times. Our whole subject today is based on 2 Timothy 3 verses 1 through 9. It says in the end, there are going to be perilous times. And it goes on to describe the type of men that will be living on earth at the time. I know what made me think about this subject was the other day they had aliens that landed in Miami. Did you all see that? Where there's about 50 million police squad cars descended on this mall, and the claim was that it was a bunch of teenagers in a fight. People believe there were aliens. There's this shot from the top of Mount Everest, it seems, with a flip phone, with a shadowy creature, with the police surrounding them. And apparently this shadowy creature was aliens. Yeah, I know. They could take pictures of your backyard from the moon, from somewhere orbiting in space, but nobody can get a decent picture of these aliens. That's beside the point. When I saw this, I thought about the end of the world. A lot of people were thinking about the end of the world, and I'm going to explain to you the things that will be happening near the end of the world. Not the things, but the personalities of people, and more specifically, men. The Bible tells us about it, and we're going to go through them one by one, all 19 of the characteristics, and see what is going on. At the end, too, I will also explain what women will look like in the last day, because the 2 Timothy talks about it a little bit too. And then, of course, it's not going to be all, oh, she's such a Debbie Downer. I'm going to really get into it and explain what you can do to be different, have a different mindset with all that's going to be going on. All right, let's go into it right now. And shout out to Tade. Actually, he has a boxing match on the 20th. I want y'all to head over to the Bible Boxer on Instagram. You give him a shout out. That's Bible Boxer with 2 X's on the TikTok also. Just give him a shout out. Let him know that your thoughts and prayers are going to be with him, and you hope he clobbers the person. You hope he wins his fight. The last days men. This is what we're going to talk about today. And there's characteristics that has 19 of them. And the first one is lovers of their own selves. We have lots of men around rocking around here that just really loves their own selves. Typically, it used to be men were protectors of the home, protectors of their family. They would put themselves ahead, behind, well, they will be willing to sacrifice themselves for their family. But now we just have a bunch of selfish men that are walking around. And this is not man bashing. I'm just explaining to you that what has happened now with people just really just lying into the arms of the devil. They're just quite happy being there. And these are the things that happen. The men that were supposed to be the backbone of our society that will hold us up as young women and children and young boys that they're supposed to be the example for. Now the men are just like conceited and all about themselves. That don't make no sense. That's why society will fall apart when the men fall apart. Lovers of themselves. It goes on to say they'll be lovers of money. They'll be covetous. That's all you hear now. Everybody want that bag. I was like, how about you want some morals? That is what's happening. And then also there'll be boasters, just always just, oh, this is me. I'm the best. I'm just everything and all that in a bag of chips. There'll be, and I think I missed proud. Boasters. Oh, maybe I didn't there, but proud is one of them. And I'm sorry I missed that one, but they'll be proud of everything. Sometimes they don't even have stuff to be proud about, but that's what they are. Disobedient to parents. I know you're laughing at the headline. That's Hunter Biden. Listen, I just went through and pulled headlines from TMZ's website and just the ones that involved men. You know, people are up to a whole bunch of foolishness these days. And some of them may not fully match some of the topics, like it says disobedient to parents. But you know what? I just pulled some headlines and slapped the characteristics of men on them, somewhat randomly, somewhat not. Disobedient to parents. You see that right now. A lot of men, they're like no respect for their parents. Like, who does that? Blasphemers, of course. I had to throw Lil Nas X up here with his recent music release. Just not respecting the Almighty God, their creator. And they feel like, you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just cool. We good like that. We can just do whatever we want to, and it's no big deal. Yeah. Then, of course, I threw him out there again. Unholy, just not respecting, not being reverent to anything. Nothing requires reverence. Anything and everything can just be just tossed to the side and treated flippantly, treated like it's nothing. I mean, we see that. And you know what? The problem is when men are doing this, so will society. If the men have lost their backbone, lost their moral compass, it's a mess after that. The men are the leaders. Ungrateful. Just happy to just go around taking, never satisfied, never thankful, just ungrateful. Without natural affection. You've seen it. Just people. I saw this headline today. There's a man in Austria who locked his daughter in some cage thing or a room and abused her for years. Birthed 7 children from his own daughter. That is like, where they do that at? Where, like, for real? Like, what is going on? I feel like I need a soundtrack for that, a sound effect for that one. Hold on. Right? Just the things that come naturally to human beings, the love that should naturally be inside of they've reduced themselves to being like animals, no natural affection whatsoever, just wild and feral. And if the men are behaving that way, guaranteed you wisdom teethinger, the kids, the generation after them are looking to the example of that. That's how we're supposed to be? I bet. especially a lot of the young men and young women that are out here running around loose and fatherless and motherless. They're using them as as a example, and they start behaving that way just without natural affection. You saw this young girl the other day that just got in a straight fight at her job because she got fired. I'm sure it wasn't like she wasn't like a stand-up employee because she got fired. And then when you look in the comments, people are defending her behavior. People have lost natural affection. They don't understand what is right and what's wrong. There is no moral high ground. It's just what you feel in your spirit, you need to always attack. It's no bueno. It's the last days. Truce breakers. Their word means nothing. People get married. They promise to be together through thick or thin. They just off run around with other women, other men, just all over the place. They just don't know how to keep their word. They break their word at every second. Just absolute truce breakers. We'll keep going down the list of men. We already did disobedient to parents, and I told you I made a mistake. I put disobedient to parents twice. I skipped over the one that says proud. And we did a whole video a few weeks ago about why pride is an issue. Remember, as we're going through this, near the end, we're talking about men and their behavior because, you are, as a man, you're supposed to be the example to women, example to children. And when in the last days, the men are going to totally lose it, and then society is going to fall apart. Especially, well, remember I said at the end, I am going to talk to you about what the solution is. All right, let's go. Next one, false accusers. Just out there, just firing shots in the crowd and see where the bullet lands. That's just how it is going to be these days. What kind of man behavior is that? It's very chick stuff to do. Girls just go out there. I mean, I don't want to be all stereotypical, but you expect gossipy things when you see the movies and things like that. It's always the women that's gossiping, right? Because stereotypes exist for a reason. It is what it is. It's a good way to make a initial assessment or initial understanding of what's going on. And then when you have your stereotype, then you have an opportunity to look deeper. And typically gossiping things is not a man thing to do. Men out there working, making that money, taking care of their family, they don't have time for that. But now men are out there falsely accusing each other and gossiping. No self-control. This my man over here fighting people over a Stanley Cup like a feral animal. You're a man. Man up. Control yourself. Back up. No self-control. What in the Bible, it uses a word that I should have used before on this screen, but incontinent is the word that it uses. And I actually I know what it means in medicine, because in medicine we use incontinent when somebody can't control their bowels or bladder. And when I looked it up, you can actually use it in non-medical ways. From now on, I'm gonna start telling people they incontinent. You're so incontinent. That means you don't got no self-control, bruh. You can't manage yourself. You have no self-control. You incontinent. Pull yourself together. Come on now. I'm gonna start using it. I am. That's how men are gonna be in the last day. Grown men can't control themselves. Where they do that at? I don't know. They do that here now. Fierce. Just angry for nothing. Brutal. This guy right here, do you know what's happening in this headline? You see it right there. My man, as a prank, thought it was a cool idea to dump a bucket of poop on somebody's head. Where they do that at? What is going on? That don't make no sense. A grown man. I mean, he looks like grown enough that he should know better. But, when you don't have no common sense anymore, men have just lost it in society. This is what's happening. Despisers of those that are good. you see that now. You cannot bring up anything about morality. You cannot bring up anything about loving God, about being a good person, be studying in school. You can't have a one woman. You can't be a stand-up person anymore. When if you do that, you're considered soft and weak and a simp. They have all kind of words for you because you choose to be good. You despise people that are good. You despise goodness and build up trash and foolishness. That's what's happening. You're talking about looking at aliens as the last day. Men has become straight aliens. That's the aliens that we got now. You don't got to be looking up in the sky. Where are the aliens? They right here beside you. Men have become alien. You become alien to your nature that you're supposed to be. You're no longer stand up people ruling society and govern it with morals. No longer. That's not happening anymore in the last days. That's how you know we're in the last days. It's coming to an end. Treacherous. Just cruel and brutal. Traitors. It's treacherous. Reckless. No value of life. No value to the gift of life. Don't really understand how the treasure you have for being here on the planet, just living life recklessly and carelessly, balls to the wall. I'm sorry. I some of these phrases are just stuck in my head and I didn't say them. It don't make no sense though. Grown men just out there acting like they 2 or 3, throwing their life away, just acting like they don't have any sense. Their frontal lobe is not well developed at all. And that's one of the reasons they're just not able to behave as like people that value their life, just behaving recklessly. High-minded, just conceited, all about themselves. It's all about me. Going back to the other one that says lovers of themselves. But this one is sort of similar to that in that just thinking that you're all that. I did a video before about the all that spirit. Calling the same thing with pride. Just high-minded and conceited. Then lovers of pleasure. Everything has to be pleasurable. It's once again just a feelings-based existence. Nothing is done because of principle. It's all about pleasure. That's a sad way to live. And the next one is just a form of godliness. For all of the ones that are out there, they, some of those ones that I mentioned before, like being reckless, being unholy and unthankful and conceited and just loving money. You're like, okay, I could see that. I could see how that could be a problem. Now you have the people, the fronters, the people, the posers, the ones that you're like, oh yeah, they love the Lord Jesus Christ. They got morals, but no. Fakers to the core. Fakers all the way through. There's no God in them. They just throw God in the mix because they feel it's cool to be a Christian these days. People are warming up to Christianity. So they throw a little God in there, just a form of godliness, but absolutely there's no truth in them. The Bible, it says, I'm going to tell you what it says. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. They just acting like God, but they don't really acknowledge who God is. It's like those, the stars in Hollywood, they win an award. Oh, I'd like to thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You're not thanking no Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You're just saying it because there's no way you can truly be out there saying you're representing God and produce some of those songs that you do. I understand that, Lord is still working on me. Maybe you're not quite where you need to be. But some of them decades and decades, I don't see no change. We got to at least see something. You're singing the same songs that is ruining wisdom teething your lives, young people, teens to early 20s. And it's the same song. You sing it over and over again. There's nothing. There's no care. There's no truth behind what your claim to be a lover of God. And the Bible goes on in 2 Timothy 3, and we went through actually 3 through to that was through 6. Right? Yeah, through 6. And it says to really stay away from men like that. And here is the part, what happens to them. What happens if you don't stay away from them? They will lead you to destruction, especially what the Bible talks about. These men, they love to connect with women that are all about that whole life and nothing about housewife. They tend to connect with women like that, and down goes society. Down goes the family. You wisdom teethingers are stuck by yourself. Because they birthed you, they brought you into the world as children, and they out there act out loose with no moral foundation. Your mama and your daddy. And what are you expected to do? Your life is going to be ruined unless you truly develop a relationship with God, truly understand who God is, that he wants what's best for you. Don't have to be afraid of these last days, as long as you don't follow these type of men. Men are just the natural leaders of society. I know out there we want to deny that that's how it is. It just is what it is. And when men are destroyed, when their moral compass is gone, when they cannot stand up and be leaders of their family and leaders of society and be kind and considerate to the women and other people around them, society is toast. You see it now. And for sure, it will be the last day. Anyway, let me know in the comments section below what you think. And have you been led astray by some of these men, these traits that some of these men have? Are you one of these men? It's not too late for you. God can save you. You are alive. There is a chance. You pray to him and just let him know, confess your sins to him, and he will forgive your sins and cleanse you from all unrighteousness. All right, guys. That's what we got. Let me see what Magic 8-Ball Spot has says down there. Incontinent. I thought it meant returning home from a vacation. The praying atheist says there is more evidence of God than space aliens. It's true. Oh, Lord. Yeah. All right. Okay. I know that one. This one was definitely something that I kind of had to go over. There's no way we could just not go through this. And really, as you just go around, you can see the examples of these kind of men out there. Stay away from them. Just stay away from them. And if you, like I said, if you are that kind of a man, change. It's time to pull it together. Okay. All right. I was one of those men. Then I woke up in the hospital that set me straight. Thank you. I'm glad the Lord rescued you from that life. That life is trash, Magic 8-Ball Spot. No question about it. All right, let's see. Do we want to find, we're here. Let me see if I could find something cool, a cool video to look at. Yeah, let's watch something cool. Something went horribly wrong. I don't know what went horribly wrong. Something went horribly wrong. I don't know what went wrong. Let's see. I'm trying to find a cool reel for us to react to. Give me a second. Way at home. Yeah. Saved. Y'all don't forget to go over to Taday's page, the Bible Boxer, and give him a shout out. He has this fight. Something went horribly wrong again. Okay, well, we won't be able to show. I won't be able to show a reel, something to react to, because something is going horribly wrong, apparently, and I can't do nothing about it. Let's just move on to then living in FOUNT. FOUNT is the 5 keys to wellness and wisdom to help you unlock your best. And today we are actually going to be talking about the O in FOUNT, which is for optimistic. And as you know, each letter in FOUNT has 3 subcategories. Today in blah, 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 blah. On the road to be optimistic, you must be able to recognize reality. A lot of us just live out there somewhere and really need to focus in on what's going on now, the power of now. And just since we're quoting Bible today, the Bible says, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Every day has its own worries and its cares. You don't have to be out here in the future trying to figure out what's going to happen and worry about what's going to happen. Right now where you are, there's enough to worry about. There's enough to keep you busy. You don't have to be going back to the past to dig stuff up. Right here, there's enough to occupy your time. Focus on now and give yourself peace. That's how you get on the road to optimism. I know a lot of people are just having a hard time right now in life. People are just burdened down with a lot of depression and anxiety. And there it is. There's the secret. Focus in on right now and focus on love, loving each other, loving the people around you, and loving God and yourself also. All right. Okay. Next we got. Well, I mean, I can't really. Oh, our FOCK section. FOCK. I'm going to just give in our FOCK section today, I'm going to just give a shout out to marriage. I saw a few videos today how people are just like, oh, we just don't want to get married. We just want a dog. Men are dogs. We don't want that kind of a dog. We want a dog and a cat, and we want to travel and have our own money and not having to do anything. And I'm just like, what a selfish way to live. Listen, there's something special about being married. If you want to be a better person, get married and really lean into being connected with this person that God has given you. It will help expose some of your blind sides and help you just refine yourself and help you to be a better person. All y'all out here, wisdom teethingers, listen to me. I know it seems really cool right now, especially millennials. They out there just like, oh, never get married. I'm a bad bee and I'm an independent woman and I don't need no man. I don't need no woman. I just need 16 women. Who needs one when you can have 16? That's like the principle that's going on out there now. I'm going to put a plug in for marriage. Get married. Find a stable relationship. I know many of you are in high school and college now. I'm putting it in your head right now. Whatever message you've heard about never getting married, let it go. La 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 la. I can't hear you. I'm telling you, a plug for marriage. Make it happen. You'll enjoy it. All right. And our teen archetype. I really need to come up with typically I've been doing those reaction videos, but there's something going on with my Instagram. I can't pull it up right now, so I'll have to be the relief between each segment. All right. Our teen archetype today is the plug. The plug. You know them? That's the person. Oh, I feel like the plug needs some sound effects. Do we clap? Do we cricket? I don't know. Maybe. What's that one? What is that? I've never seen this one. What is that? I promise you, I've never seen this sound. I wonder if it's a new update they put on our thing. What? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just like, what? Why didn't I ever see that one? Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay. All right, the plug. Right now, we're going to talk about the plug. So here's the deal with the plug. They know how to get you stuff. And unfortunately, right now, the stuff that they're getting you vape, they're getting you drugs, they're getting you marijuana. Those are the things that they know how to get a hold of. They know how to get you pills and potions, whatever it is that you need that is not legal. That's the plug in your school. Who's the plug in your school? Who's the plug in your class? Who's the plug on your block? Unfortunately, just plug in the wrong things. They are skilled negotiators, skilled at acquisitioning things. They just got it like that. And instead of using their talent for good, they're using it for evil. They're able to get you all the things needed to destroy your life. Listen here, plug. Here's the deal. I want you to use this intellect that you have, this ability to find what people need, to maybe start your own like Craigslist website, your own Facebook marketplace website, your own grocery store, something like that. You're skilled at finding people's needs, at fulfilling people's needs, at like, there's a word I'm looking for and it's not coming, but you know what it is. That is what I want for you to do, plug. Quit dabbling in the illegal. I know it's small change now because you're in high school, you're in college. It's no big deal. The stakes get higher as you get older. The more you get from some of these things is the more you want to take risk and go further and further. And before you know it, you out there moving kilos from Colombia across the border. We don't want that for you. Plug, pull it together, find a legal way to use this skill that you have. All right. Whew. We are at our last segment. And this one is, I feel like, I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. I still wanted to put like a video in between each of our segments, but it don't matter. All right, let's go over our last segment. Matt, let me see what. There was one of those men, then I woke up. Okay, yeah. All right, okay. That's the Magic 8 Ball spot. Okay. Y'all ready for the story? Here we go. I've been a doctor since 1999, and that was the first time I'd ever done anything like this before. Let me tell you all what happened. My son and I went to Asheville, North Carolina. I went there for a medical conference. And, you know, it was a cool conference, but we were in Asheville. We're like, okay, we need to check the place out. One day we decided to play hooky for one of the events. Well, truly, we didn't really plan to play hooky. They were going to have a meet and greet after the conference that day. And we're like, okay, we wanted to go to this restaurant, Jerusalem, what it was called. I have his name here. Jerusalem Garden in Asheville. My sister had recommended it. She said it was just the best, like, Middle Eastern food. and we needed to check it out. We were on our way to Jerusalem Garden, and we're like, okay, when we're done, we're going to swing by the hangout meet and greet. They were going to even do karaoke. I love, if y'all ever meet me and we're hanging out, I don't know how to behave. Y'all hear me? I do not know how to act. You give me karaoke, you give me music, I am ready to just go off. Anyway, we were going to go eat first. So we heading to go eat. And then just got up to the top of the hill near the center of Asheville, and I looked over and I saw this man just laid out on the ground, and his pants were like wet, and his friends were like, there's a blue beer bottle, what looked like a beer bottle beside him, and I was just like, what's going on over there? Anyway, let's just keep it moving. Cross the street. I was like, let's just cross the street. And my son, he's 12. He's like, well, mommy, you're a doctor. Well, he don't talk like that. That would be like a girl. Mommy, you're a doctor. You need to at least check it out. So on the insistence of this 12-year-old boy, I took another look. I'm like, fine. This time, what I saw was them calling, let's just give him a name. I am going to protect the name because I do know his name to protect the innocent or just to protect the man's identity. Well, can we call him, what do you want to call him? Dan? No, let's call him Bill? No. What do you want to call him? Chuck. Let's call him Chuck. They're like, Chuck, wake up, Chuck, wake up. And the people around him looked like they were in absolute distress. All this is happening in seconds. I was just like, okay, something's going on. I dashed over there, and one of his friends had his hand, and it had blood all over it. Bill had fallen to the ground and had busted his head. But why did he fall? He literally just was walking forward and just fell over. And we began to check his pulse. He had no pulse. This is what I had to do for the first time as a doctor. I had to do CPR outside of the hospital. No technologist, nobody an anesthesiologist, no nurse, no special medicine. It was just me and my body and a bunch of civilians, none of them with any medical training. And I had to start doing CPR. His family around him looked like they had all come up to Asheville just for a weekend. Yeah, they may have been drinking, but they weren't like sloppy. They weren't drunk or anything. They had maybe, I don't even know I'm just assuming because there was alcohol around. But this man just passed out. Didn't matter. He did not have a pulse. And I was just like, we got to get started. All I'm saying now happened in seconds. All of that just running through my head at once. Was he drinking? What was happening? What's going on? All of that. Bloody hands. Busted his head. He laying there right there in front of me. Seconds. All of it just flashing before me. And I felt his pulse. He had no pulse. And I started pushing on his chest. I did say a quick prayer. I'm not going to lie. Here's the thing. Dr. D Nice, my knees are horrible. Do you hear me? There's no way I could have kneeled on that asphalt. The ambulance would have had to come and cart me away. They would have to lift me off the ground afterwards. But I was just like, I could do it standing up. When I said this was just all flash decisions, and I was just bent over, my knees slightly bent, and started pushing on his chest. Middle of the street in Asheville, a crowd was gathering. It was like, somebody call 911 now. I didn't hear anybody respond to it. I said it again, call 911 now. We already called them. Yes, good. And we started pushing. Then one of his friends came over. Can I help you? I'm like, I'm good. I can still do it. I had a lot of energy, and I kept pushing and pushing and pushing on his chest. And then finally I was like, I need some help. I was getting tired. And his friend had never really done CPR before. I had to show him where to place his hands, put his hands right over, and show him how to press and kind of lean into the press and instruct him on how to give a good chest compression. here is the part that was interesting. Before we started the chest compression, Chuck was blue. It's been a while since I've seen somebody just blue, like literally blue. I started chest compressions and his face turned back pink and red. That's when I knew we were doing it properly. All this didn't take very long at all. I mean, it was within minutes, the ambulance was there because we're in downtown Asheville. Asheville is a very small town. Even though it's popular, it's still a very small town. They came, they strapped this yellow vest thing on him that was actually, looked like it was doing the chest compressions for them. Listen, Dr. D and I's been out of medical school for a long time. I don't work in the ER. I work in a clinic taking care of high blood pressure and diabetes. We don't have all those fancy smancy things that they carry on the ambulance or have in the ER. I had never seen this equipment before is what I'm trying to say. I think it was compression his chest for him. I don't even know what the device was doing because at this time I was just like, the adrenaline was just flowing through my body. They picked him up and took him away. His wife was there. His daughter was witnessing this. They were just losing it. One of his closest friends was there. All of them was there watching all this happen in front of us. After they took him away in the ambulance, there was just a hush around the crowd. Everybody, because everything that I'm describing here, I mean, like literally, this is all about 5 minutes. So many things happen in about 5 minute span, maybe that long. When they took him, his friends, I was just like, I need to get his number. I need to find out what happened. And his friend, I got the number of his friend, the one that I taught how to do chest compressions right there, and the one with the bloody hand. Everything shut down and we left. And we decided, okay, we were still hungry. And we started walking to Jerusalem. What did I say that restaurant was called? Jerusalem Garden. When I tell you, I was under a stupor. I was gone from adrenaline. I didn't even, like, when I crossed the street, this guy stopped me. It was like, I just saw what was happening. If somebody passes out in front of me, what should I do? I stopped and gave him like a quick CPR-ish lesson, like, chest compressions are important. Try to go get it CPR certified too, so you feel confident in what you're doing. And, we walked away and left, and I went to Jerusalem Grill. Let me explain. I actually had put some notes in my phone about everything I was feeling, and I'm going to read it to you. Okay. This is what happened. It was last fall. I feel like I want to cry. That's what I put in my phone. When I got to Jerusalem Grill and put my order, I was like, I really wanted to write down all the things I was feeling. I felt like I wanted to cry. There's a lot of energy just running through my body. I didn't know where it was, like pent up energy, and most of it was concentrated in my chest. My hands felt jittery and unsure, like a fork. I couldn't even hold it well. This is all after the event. My brain and my body felt disconnected. I couldn't even think of like when his friend was giving me his number, I couldn't even think well to put it in my phone. It's like my brain and my body were just not connected anymore. I didn't feel hungry. I felt like I couldn't take a full deep breath. I just felt disconnected from myself. And I began to think, like, did I do everything I could have done? And right before I ate at Jerusalem Grill, I did say a prayer for him and his family. So let me tell you what was going on. Oh, I can tell you what I ordered at Jerusalem Grill too. I wrote that down. A chicken gyro with potato and mint sauce, baba ganache, which is eggplant and pita. And it's crazy. On our way back from the restaurant back to our hotel, needless to say, we didn't go to the karaoke thing. On our way back, I remember seeing these green capri pants in a window on display. I didn't even recognize it from the time when I were walking to the restaurant. These for sure would have been pants I would have noticed, but because I was still under the influence of adrenaline, I just didn't even see and the pants when I was going, but when we were coming to the restaurant after the CPR incident, but I saw them when we were going back. Here's the thing, guys. Learn how to do CPR. Don't be afraid to do CPR on somebody anywhere. There's a CPR instructor, and I can't remember his name. I apologize. I'm so sorry for not. It's just right now. As soon as we end the stream, I'm going to remember his name. Anyway, what he says to make it easier, remember, that person is essentially dead, okay? And you are going to be helping to almost bring them back to life. If you think about it that way, without your help, they are going to die. They're on the brink of dying. Do not be afraid to get in there. Do chest compressions. Don't be afraid to worry, oh, well, I'm not going to do no mouth to mouth. Here's the thing. The recent recommendations are chest compressions are the most important thing. If you don't feel like doing mouth to mouth on the person, the chest compressions are going to be the most important thing. You can get one of their family members. If you're in a situation where the family is there, show them how to give an effective breath if you don't want to do mouth to mouth. The Mr. Chuck, we didn't end up having to do mouth to mouth because he did, after a while, take some breaths, and they called it, initially when I went over him, they had what we call like a agonal breathing, where just a very weird, like you're struggling, you're breathing in agony, agonal breath. And he did start breathing a little bit while we were doing chest compression. Anyway, so here's the thing. I'm going to tell you what was happening to him. I found out later because I got his friend's number, and I texted him to check in with him. He had a blockage of the left main artery of the heart. It is known as the widow maker. Let me see if I could get my... Yes, the widow maker. And what the widowmaker does, because it's one of the main arteries to the heart, when it is blocked, not many people recover from that. But Chuck did, because we started CPR essentially immediately on him. I know I told you all the things. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I keep going? My son saying, go ahead over there. All that was just seconds. There was really minimal to any delay in us starting CPR on him. If somebody's down, as a matter of fact, we're not going to make this a formal CPR lesson because I don't want to give you all incorrect information. And you go say, Dr. Dina, I said, listen, chest compressions, try to help, check a pulse, take a CPR class. It's going to be important. You can save a life. I promise you. I promise you. Chuck is actually back to work now from the last message I got from his friend. Remember, guys, there's wisdom and there's stupidness. Choose wisdom. And also, show me your brightest, show me your best, show me the latest guru. God's wisdom lets theirs look like stupidness. Okay, what Magic 8 Ball said. CPR, I know how to do it. I never did it. I hope it becomes one of my unused skill. Trust me, yeah. You want it to become one of your unused skill. As a whole doctor, I've done CPR in the hospital before. I just never done it outside of the hospital on the street with no equipment, no other medical professional to kind of make you feel, okay, you got this, girl. Nothing. Let's see. Brain and body disconnect. That's the way my passengers feel after I give them a ride. Chuck had a chunk in his artery. Exactly, he did. His left main artery was like blocked. I believe 100%. It was I'm glad that God put me in that situation to be able to help at the time that he did. All right, we were on here a long time today, 55 minutes. What? It's been a while since I did a long stream like that. Magic 8 Ball Spot, listen, thank you so much for just being here all the time, having your support. I really appreciate it. I'm not gonna lie. It feels good to not be just talking into the abyss. At least one person is here hanging. And I appreciate you for being here 100%. All right. I am going to get out of here, though. The plan was once I got back into this space, I was going to restart the Friday morning ones where I review popular artists and the Sunday Good, the Bad, and Ugly. I'm not going to start it this week. I need to unpack some things and spend the next couple weeks or so, maybe all of January, just cleaning up in here, making sure everything is where it needs to be. And then we can restart some of those other programs, shows, whatever you want to call them, that I used to do. All right, I'm out. I'm rambling now. Take care. I appreciate you, Magic 8 Ball Spot. You have an amazing rest of the week. May the Lord bless and keep you. May the Lord lift his face, let his face to shine upon you and give you peace, you and your family and everything. I'm out ya. Out ya.
Wisdom teething lend me your ear. Dr. D Nice and FOUNT is here for the day. Want wisdom?
We've got you.
Wellness?
We got you.
Ears?
You got two.
Bones? It's got 3. Chambers? 4. In your heart for doing right? 5. Keys? Your game's all tight? FOUNT. Get your mind right and your body tight. Get your mind right